You can follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports and check her work out at Herald Sports as they cover Inter Miami at home and on the road as she was there in Los Angeles last week. Michelle, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you? I'm just writing my story now, so be sure to look in about an hour online and on Twitter, and you'll find my story.
You got it, and we'll do our job. We'll retweet it out there, get it out to the Inter fans. How was the atmosphere for Game 1? I thought it was great to see our fan base. We had a nice group out there. I thought they did I thought they put up a respectable showing against the team that's loaded and well prepared at this point.
Yeah, they definitely, the atmosphere was great. I mean, that stadium is, as Don Garber was there, he said, that stadium is the crown jewel of the league. That's what they would like every team to have. Atlanta has they have 70,000 people, and Seattle and whatever, but, Atlanta, they're playing in a football stadium. This stadium, the LAFC Stadium, Bank of California, is 22,000 seats. It could be bigger, but it's full, it's packed, it's made for soccer, it's specifically made for that team. All the colors are black and gold. Everything is, it's their stadium. I mean, that is their home. They're not sharing it with anybody. It's made for soccer. It's made for them. And the end zone, the end seats, I got in trouble on Twitter the other day for calling it end zone by one of these soccer snobs. But anyway, the end seats behind the net, it's like at a 35-degree steep drop, and there's no chairs. It's just standing room only, which we're going to do also here at the Stadium of Fort Lauderdale. And you have the group called 3252, which is the capacity of that end section. And so that whole section of 3,252 fans they stand, jump up and down, and sing and dance and chant the entire game. They never sit because they can't, because there are no chairs. They stand the entire game. They're really, really, really loud. And the atmosphere was terrific. It was a great atmosphere. The game was close. I agree that Miami, I think they did better than I thought they were going to do. I didn't really know what to expect. LAFC is an outstanding team. They had just beaten Leon, one of the top teams in Mexico, a few days before in the Champions League. And, they're very good. They were the top-scoring team last year. Carlos Vela, who ended up scoring the one goal against Miami, he's the Golden Boot winner from last year with 34 goals in 34 games and starting already with, keeping up his average of a goal a game against Miami. So they were playing really the best team probably in MLS. And, and they lost 1-0. So it's very respectable. I thought they earned a lot of respect. But I'll tell you that they're not satisfied. That's what I'm writing, writing about my interviews I had today at the practice this morning. That was still at the end of the day a moral victory for them. And they want to win. They are not satisfied. They don't want to just be, we're the expansion team and we're just, building and next year we'll win. They really want to win. And they really feel that they can, even though they're still missing two big pieces of their puzzle, I think, and their full roster this summer, I think, will include 2 players who are not there yet. So, I thought they did very well, but they mostly have been talking about all the ways that they could improve, and what was encouraging to them was that even though they felt that they didn't play as well as they could have played, that they still were only within 1. So that was encouraging to them, very encouraging, but they certainly were not satisfied, and they were not happy with losing that game. And they're very fired up for the D.C. game this Saturday.
Well, I was reading the power rankings at ProSoccerUSA.com, and Miami's number 18, and you know what? D.C. United is 23, so you know what?
Yeah,
Miami has a shot, I guess.
I'm not sure if it was on that ranking, but in the preseason, I know that they had Miami ranked way down. They were 26 or 20. I think they were 25th out of 26 teams. Maybe only they had Cincinnati behind them. I think they had Nashville. They had. I don't know if it was the same ranking. I saw one of those preseason things, which those people have never seen this team
Right.
play, so I don't know how you could rank a team before you've ever seen a team play. But anyway, I believe that they were picked 25th out of 26, and so I guess they did earn some respect. They certainly can play. They impose this. They try to impose the style that Diego Alonso wants, which is very similar to the LAFC style, which is possession, keep the ball, high pressure. The game this week is going to be different, and I think it'll suit Miami better because DC United is not the same kind of team. DC United is more of a scrappy, fighting team, more long balls. I think, if Miami plays the way they want to, I think they will create some scoring chances, but they're all determined to get better. Robbie Robinson, freshman, the rookie, right out of Clemson. So he goes from playing, college soccer to starting against LAFC in a packed stadium in, one of the most intimidating places in the league. That was a really big, tall order for that kid. And, he, even though everyone said, he had a good start, whatever, he was not satisfied at all with how he played. And the teammates were all telling him he needs to, be a little more decisive when he's right. They wanted him to pull the trigger a little quicker and take some shots from outside the box, even if it's at a bad angle, even if he thinks it's too far. And in his mind, what he told us is that in his mind, he thought some of those shots were just not good shots to take, but they want him to take those shots, and so he's working on that. He said this week he's going to be very conscious of that if he's anywhere in striking range, that he's going to try to strike more than he did last week. So anyway, they're all very determined to get better, and while they are, they're happy, they feel that they showed a lot of heart. They all talked about that they showed their heart, they showed their character, they showed that they're fighters, but they were not satisfied with the way they played. They wanted to do better.
Well, I love how they're thinking, but I took off the moral victories off the Panthers this year. Whenever they played a close game or whatever, that didn't matter to me. I'm holding their feet to the fire. They've got to do a lot more than just make the playoffs. They need to go deep into the playoffs. If not, it's a failure. I can hold them to that kind of standard because they've been building this for a while now, and they got a Hall of Fame coach and a stud goaltender, so I expect more. But from these guys, they're an expansion team, and I get it, Robbie wants to do better, but I'm with you, Michelle. I thought for a youngster, I really liked what I saw from him overall as a young guy. I don't expect
he can
him.
hold the ball. I think he's got a lot of courage. I think he went out there and he threw an elbow. Like on the very first run, some guy tried to pull him there, and he imposed himself. I mean, he seems to be pretty courageous for a kid that young with no experience whatsoever. I mean, to go from an ACC game playing against Wake Forest, and all of a sudden he's at LAFC, playing in front of 22,000 screaming fans against last year's Golden Boot player, and against the top team in the league, one of the top teams. I thought he did very well. He can run. He's strong. He can hold the ball. They had trouble. Bob Bradley specifically mentioned him, made a call out to him after the game when Bob Bradley was asked of his impressions of Miami. They didn't ask specifically about Robbie Robinson. They asked his impressions of the game. And one of the first things he said was the young kid, Robbie Robinson, was a handful for us. He called him a handful. He's big. He's strong. He can hold the ball. And now the next thing will be, and he scored in the preseason. He scored the one goal, the only goal that they scored. The winning goal in the second preseason against the Rowdies. So he has scored for the team. He certainly has a lot of potential. And that is still not. They're still shopping for the name striker from Europe that apparently is going to come in the summer. But in the meantime, this guy is your starter, and I think he did a pretty good job. I really do.
Yeah, so do I. I loved what I saw out of him. I was happy to see him get time, and even Vokun came in also in the second half and got some playing time, which, again, I feel that was so important that those young guys got that experience already right from the get-go. And listen, we'd be remiss if we don't talk about Luis Robles. He put on a freaking show. That
Yeah, Luis
was
Robles
awesome.
is, yeah, that's who I interviewed today. So read my story today about Luis Robles. He's really good. He's a really good player. He's a really good leader. He definitely kept them in the game. I mean, it would have probably been 3.
Yeah.
He made some really good saves, very good decisions. And he's still learning to communicate with, his back line, his center back. Everyone raved, including him today at practice, about Nico Figal, number 5. A lot of people don't know that much about him.
He played awesome. Nico Figal played awesome in that game. He was fantastic.
Yes, Nico Figal was he really stood out. He's a center back, and not only did he was very decisive. He was always seemed to be in the right place, but also he got involved in the attack. He didn't just stay back. I mean, he dribbled on several occasions. He actually took a shot. He had one shot in the second half, and he's going to be. He looks like a guy who could definitely, help with the attack while also being a really dependable defender. And he's still, what Luis Robles said, is they're still working on their communication. Figal doesn't speak English. He's learning. Luis Robles, despite his name, speaks very fluent Spanish. So they're still working on chemistry and communication, and that's really important, especially with the back line and the goalkeeper, that they all communicate well. And then Ramon Torres, between him and Ramon Torres and Figal, have been working well together. And then in front of Robles, good. I think the back line was good. Pizarro, they want him to be even more involved in the offense than he was in the attack, getting him the ball a little bit more. And then, up top, Robbie taking more shots and pulling the trigger a little bit quicker. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in week 2. But I was pleasantly surprised by what I saw. I had no idea what to expect, and I had set my expectations pretty low, to be honest. And in fact, my daughter texted me, and she's like, "I thought you said that they might get killed in this game or whatever." She goes, she said, "Mom, they look good to me." She said, "I thought they looked good." So I don't know what you're talking about. So she thought that I was too pessimistic going into the game. But I thought they showed well. But they're not satisfied. They're really not. They keep talking about, they're not in this to just be the new expansion team that gets close and has moral victories. They really want to win. They want 3 points. They want to get to the playoffs. They have very lofty goals.
Yeah, and Michelle, the one thing that it will be an issue for them, because you can tell, is finishing. That last third of the field is going to be a mission for them because of the 2 guys that we talked about that they still need to add. Those are the guys that are going to finish off those kind of plays, and they're going to be the ones that are going to influence a lot in that last third of the field. And that's the one thing that I saw, and obviously scoring is so important, obviously, in soccer, but that's where I think they're going to have to get really creative. They're going to have to be exceptional in set pieces, things like that, because when it comes to attacking, you could tell they just don't have enough in that area.
Right, and the defenders are better now. So, this Robbie Robinson, he's playing against professional defenders now. It's not the same as playing college level. And so they had Julian Carranza, who was, one of the guys that they brought in from Argentina, one of the 2 19-year-olds who was one of the first 2 signees. He was supposed to be the starter there, and he's injured now. He's out all the way through April. So he probably won't come back till, last week of April or first week of May. And, they've said for the last month now that the position that they're looking at for the final DP is the striker, is the number 9. They're shopping for a number 9. That's who they're talking to in Europe. It looks like it's now going to come in the European transfer window. So, not till June or whatever. In the meantime, they're on top. So to ask a college kid to come in and be that player is, that's a lot to ask of him. And I think he, like we said, he certainly has potential and he showed good things, but he's not going to be at the level of Carlos Vela or some of the other top scorers in the league with no experience. So, that's one area that they definitely feel that they need to improve in the final third for sure.
All right, so we talked about a couple players that are banged up and they won't be back for a couple months. out of this game last Sunday? Did they suffer any injuries at all that we should be concerned about for Saturday?
No.
Okay.
No, Victor Ulloa did get, he got bumped in the knee, but he was out there practice today. He's 100%. They checked it out. He's fine. He just knocked knees with a guy on his tackle. So he should be fine. And Juan Agudelo, is the other forward that actually has played on the U.S. national team and also would have probably been thought of as the starter before Robbie Robinson. He's still coming off an injury from preseason, but I think, he'll be available. Maybe he's not at 100% yet. But as far as this last game, as far as I know, nobody got injured in this first game that would affect the second game. I would think the lineup will probably be very similar. We'll see. Right back, I thought that Aldis Powell, he's really fast and has experience, but he got exposed a few times. So, DC United is not LAFC. I don't think they have the same potent offense. So, it probably won't be quite as big of a job to defend, their forwards as it was to defend LA's. But that's one area where I don't know if they'll, stay with the same lineup or make a few tweaks. But yeah, I think it's an interesting team. I really do. I'm sort of getting to know them a little bit and see their different personalities and, who are the leaders and who are the quiet ones and who are the workaholics. And, I can tell you for sure that Robbie Robinson, he wants to learn and he wants to get better. In the preseason, there was one practice in Port St. Lucie where the practice ended and all the players were already done. They're like jogging off to go, to their meal or whatever. And he went over to an assistant coach. I didn't hear what he said, but I saw him go over to an assistant coach. The next thing I know, the assistant coach had a bag of balls, and the two of them were out there at goal, and he was practicing something over and over and over. The coach was giving him some tips on the positioning of where he was shooting from or whatever. And he stood there like the whole team was already gone, and he was still out there, taking shots and working with an assistant coach one-on-one. So I think, he's a guy when they drafted him that one of the things that I read about in every story that was written about him at Clemson is that this guy, he's obsessed with the sport. He's obsessed with getting better. He wants the ball at his feet at all times. And, I think that's a really promising thing for a young guy on the team.
Michelle, I saw you wrote that Inter had solid ratings, too, locally. And considering it was a Sunday at 5:30, I can't say that there's been a ton of advertising about it. And there are no stars right now that are known on the team. I think it's overall pretty good start.
Yeah. Overall, they got a 1.5 rating. And, the top, I think it's at the top, Panthers rating was a 0.7 last year, and it also the highest Marlins game I think was a 1.7 or 1.9. So for Inter Miami, their first game to get that rating, like you said, on a Sunday without a huge star, without a lot of the big push. I think they were very pleased with that number. They're going to have many nationally televised games this year. The local broadcaster, I believe, is going to be announced in the next 48 hours. So stay tuned for that. TV and radio deals have been finalized and are going to be announced. So there will be plenty of opportunities for fans who can't go to the games to be able to see them on TV and English and Spanish and be able to keep up.
So,
and, of course, read about it in the Miami Herald, of course.
That's right.
That goes without saying.
That's right. Read about it in the Herald with Michelle Kaufman. Damn right. Fusion Boulevard. I saw you tweet that out. I had no idea. Do we know the story behind all of this?
I don't know. I don't know if that's been the name of the. I just noticed it yesterday when I turned. But I don't know if that's been the name of that street since the Fusion played there. I will find out. The street sign says Fusion Boulevard, Northwest 15th Avenue, Fusion Boulevard. I don't know if that's always been the name of that street since the team played for 20 years ago, and I just never noticed it because, to be honest, since the Fusion folded, I haven't been up there that much. And if I was ever up there, it was probably at night for a game, so I wasn't looking or paying attention to that sign on the west side of the stadium.
I've been there 1,000 times, and I never noticed it myself.
But did you go? But did you go on the west side?
Yeah.
But we used to go in the east gate. This is on the west side of the stadium. Did you ever go down
Yes.
15th Avenue by the airport?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. I just
Okay.
I never noticed it. I parked on that
Well, I never
side
noticed
too.
it either. I'm gonna
weird.
find out. I'm gonna find out because a lot of people commented on the tweet. They were curious for the same thing. Like, was it always called that, or is this an homage to the team? So I don't know, but it is called Fusion Boulevard, Northwest 15th Avenue, which is where I turn every morning to go to the practice. It's the west side of the stadium, and they're 10 days away from hosting the home opening game there. So there's still a lot to be done, but they're putting they're doing more of the cosmetic stuff now. All of the electrical and plumbing and all of those things. The seats have been installed, and all that kind of stuff is done. The lighting. Now they're doing a lot of planting and parking lot things and signage and that kind of stuff, and finishing the training facility as well. So they actually brought the gym. I saw it today for the first time. They have a gym there was a lot of weight equipment in there, and exercise equipment and stuff that I think was put in yesterday or the day before, so that they can actually start doing some training at the facility in addition to the stuff they do out on the field. So it's coming together. It's a process. It's an expansion team, but I think their first game, they definitely did not get embarrassed. They definitely proved that they belong in the league, which was my headline. I think they proved that they belong, and they're very ambitious. They're very ambitious. So we'll see.
And we have a schedule update for the Toronto game.
Oh yeah, that game moved up by one game, but that's not a home game. So I don't think I think that's a road game. It went from May 30th to May 31st.
Yeah, on a Sunday at 6 o'clock. Is there anything the fans need to know about the home opener outside that it's sold out?
No, I don't. They haven't really revealed too much about festivities around the home opener, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot of things going on around the home opener. No, I mean, I would just say get there early. It's going to be it's right off Commercial Boulevard there. So I remember even from the Fusion days that and a lot of fans are coming from Miami. The exit at Commercial Boulevard off I-95 used to get backed up. I remember sitting there with my husband in the right lane, waiting to get off that exit at Commercial Boulevard before the game. So I think people will need to get there early, and the first day there are always first day issues. As far as nobody knows where they're going, no one knows what parking lot they're supposed to be at, so people are going to be driving around a little bit confused. But yeah, it should be fun. LA Galaxy, you're going to have Chicharito against Pizarro. I mean, we already had Pizarro against Vela, and now here you're going to have LA Galaxy, David Beckham's old team with Chicharito. I would say probably the most recognizable player right now in MLS as far as name goes. Going up against his Mexican teammate and friend. So that's going to be a really, really good matchup.
And if you read some of these stories that are going on now, it seems like the MLS now has passed the Mexican League, and that Mexican stars are like, I'd rather play in the MLS now. And that's going to be, it seems like in the next 10 years here, that's going to be quite a blow to Mexican soccer, because a lot of the Mexican stars are going to want to gravitate over to the United States in the MLS. Are you reading the same thing?
Yeah, that's definitely a narrative right now. There's a real battle now between MLS and Liga MX. I mean, for the longest time, Liga MX was considered ahead of MLS, and they still did. That's why this Champions League that's going on now, MLS has had teams make the semis before and do well. But the Mexican team, I think, has won like 11 years in a row. So, that's where the top Mexican team presumably is playing the top MLS team. And the Mexican team at the end of the day has still been winning that every year. But, LAFC beat Leon, 3-0 the other day. And
the money's changed. The money's changed, too. The money's changed in the MLS.
Yeah, there's the big thing is once a few of these big names come over, I mean, when Chicharito chose to come here instead of going there. That's a big deal. And Pizarro decided to come here from Monterrey, and and Pulido, and so they've got some top Mexican players showing up here in MLS now. Once that floodgate opens, other players start to say, "Hey, if Chicharito's there,
right,
Pizarro's there, and this one's there, then I'm going to go there." And if they're going to make good money here, live a different lifestyle, the pressure is a little bit different. It's not quite as crazy as it is in Mexico as far as the media and the fans and the. Over there, it's incredible, immense pressure on them every single game, every single minute, everything they do. They have paparazzi following them everywhere. The lifestyle is a little bit calmer here, especially for those that have families and kids and things like that. So, there's a real battle now between MLS and Liga MX about who's the best, and it's going to be interesting the next few years to see if there is a shift. I know that right now the Mexican League is still claiming that they're the best, and MLS is saying that we are trying to be the best of the two, and there will be many opportunities for them to battle coming up in the next few months. So we'll see what happens.
Follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports so you can keep up with everything going on with Inter Miami and her coverage with the Miami Herald. She is Michelle Kaufman, and you can catch her every week at this time doing her thing right here. Michelle, thank you as always. Be safe in your travels and enjoy covering the win this Saturday.
All right. Thanks. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Michelle Kaufman. Thank you. Michelle Kaufman, as always, coming through.